You for all the love. I'm just waiting for a moment so that people can join in. Thank you, Shetty. There's so much being said and done about equality, about rights, about how we are progressing as a woman. However, there's so much more to what we are showing to the world. And there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of bright side about how women are emerging as leaders and also trying to play the multiple roles with additional responsibilities and support the families to upbring a happy child. So in my strive to grow more strong women and help them evolve into the true strong personalities they are, today I'm going to invite a special guest who has been through this journey, seen it all, experienced it thoroughly, and emerged as a true leader. I'm in awe of her work, the amount of contribution she has made to the oil industry, being so strong wherever she is. I know she has a lot to give to us today, and I'm waiting to invite Mrs. Gita Ramachandran for our live today. Geeta ji, can you click on the plus button so that I can go live with you? Thank you, Shetty. Thank you for the lovely compliments and all the love. Saubana. There she is. Welcome, 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 Geeta ji.
Welcome. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, and thank you for honoring my request to be live with us today. It means so much to me, particularly.
It's my pleasure, Deepthi, because, like you, I also have this women empowerment as a part of my mission. Okay,
Right,
though I'm not into that area, but all along
right,
from I can't say I have always tried to support women, and
right.
so this is also one of my mission, and I'm so happy to be a part of this where you are projecting. I have seen all your posters, and I find that you are giving so much. You are trying to make women so powerful, and since this is also very close to my heart, I wanted to join this Insta Live along with you.
Thank you for letting me know, Geeta ji. Let me introduce you to the audience properly. Gita Ramachandran is a well established, experienced, and highly respected leader in the technology sector. She has won many national awards for the work she is doing and done so far for the technological innovations, and she is known as a visionary and strategist for her pioneering work, especially in the oil industry. And she has lots and lots and lots of firsts to her credit. Besides being a university rank holder, she's also the first woman engineer. My God, she's the first woman engineer to be recruited by Maharatna PSU Bharat Petroleum in the late 70s. She has set up full ERP and IT setup for grassroots refinery in Bina and made it a first smart digital refinery in India. I feel so proud to go live with you, Geeta ji. While you have done so much in the technology space, I believe now that you are officially a digital success and life coach. Can you share with us some part of your journey? Because I know if we talk about your journey, that in itself will be a series of sessions. So I want you to share with us part of your journey so the audience knows what exactly it has been for you to be a life coach.
Deepthi, I joined engineering when, ladies did not join engineering at that point in time, late 70s. We were only 9 girls who had joined engineering. So you can understand what we were going through when we entered the class. And that time, ragging used to be very, very. And basically, there was one rule that the boys will not touch you. That's all. But heavy ragging. So
Mm.
you see, when we go to the class and we are asked so many questions, it becomes very difficult to keep our face straight and answer them. But if we don't answer, then we are dragged very heavily. So we
Okay.
have gone through the grilling at that point in time, you know. So generally, what happens is that even though you have a lot of confidence when you have done your 10th and 12th, when you go and start engineering, it becomes very difficult because your confidence ebbs away. And
Right.
and so it becomes very difficult, you know, for you to even speak out. After that,
Right.
when I joined Bharat Petroleum, the first day that I went for the interview, the admin in charge looked at me up and down and said, "You, a woman?" And I was like, you know, in the advertisement that they had placed for us, they did not mention gender. So I
Right.
have not specifically mentioned my gender because it was not there. And
Right.
I was actually very good in academics. So automatically my name got selected and I was called for the interview. But only
Right.
when I went there, they realized that I am a lady and they could not post me in the plant.
Mm.
So, so it was like when they looked at me, I said, and I knew that, you know, there is no chance. I'm not going to be selected. It was just a sort of normal interview. But fortunately for me, or unfortunately, or as per destiny, you can say that my answers were bang on. And
Right.
actually, I can say it in Hindi word as a bindas. I was totally bindas when I answered, which
Right.
came out as, you know, overconfidence. And I got selected.
Right.
They may have discussed between themselves and they would have thought, okay, let me try, let us see. Because anyway, it was only for a 1 year graduate engineer trainee post. So after 1 year, they can always, not take me. But I
Right.
got selected, and when I was walking in the plants, you know, we had to wear boiler suit and hard hat and all that. I could see people staring at me
Right.
like like a seventh wonder or an eighth wonder. But then I went about, you know, we had to do some cabling and things like that. I was going around in the plants, and I did a good job, I think, because afterwards, when they interviewed me for the management cadre, I got
Mm.
selected along with other boys. So I was the first lady engineer to be recruited by Bharat Petroleum, and it was glamorous because they posted me with a hard hat and overalls and all that in their journal and said first lady engineer. But then there was responsibility associated with it because I can't
Mm.
be just remaining first lady engineer. I need to see that other ladies also got into this field. And that is where I realized that I cannot do any mistake. I have to be always on my toes and do as much as possible so that tomorrow nobody will say we can't take lady engineers. And there my journey started. Everything I was doing as much as possible, and
Right.
that is really where, you know, they started recruiting more ladies. And I remember most of the lady engineers, they came and told me they have pointed you as an example. Now
Right.
to be said as an example and they being taken, I knew that I had started properly. And you know, women started being recruited in Bharat Petroleum. Initially there were rules that you cannot work beyond 6 o'clock, we have to leave. But then how do I complete my job? So I
Mm.
had to, because factory rules are like that.
Right.
So those even men, when they were working beyond 4 o'clock, 4:30, you get something known as overtime. I was
Right.
not claiming that. I was not
Right.
claiming that because as per rules, I can't stay beyond that time.
Right.
So I worked, but I did not claim. All these basically they were leading to a path where I wanted to ensure that ladies get recruited and they find a place and they perform and they also get recognized. So this is the start of my journey where, you know, I had to do almost 3 times because getting recognition was very difficult. In a man's area, when you work
Mm.
equally, then it is like okay. When you do double, then yeah, you can be recognized. But only when you do thrice,
Mm.
you get the next level. So all along my journey has been like that. So for me, working hard is I always say that you need to perform to get, you need to deserve to get your promotions, and you
Right.
need to work hard for that. If there's no two way about it. So I
Right.
think I have conveyed that how even if you're a lady and you want to get recognized,
Right.
you need to do so much.
Thank you
Yes,
so
Deepthi, I
much
think
for putting that so simply for us. And the key takeaway for me was work thrice as hard because you work not enough to prove even your presence. You work twice, then maybe they just see you being there. But when you work thrice as hard, that's when you actually earn it. And that's a bingo point for me and for the others who are watching us live. People who are hopping in, we are in conversation with Gita Ramachandran, who is a digital success and life coach who has swept her way through and paved the way for engineers who are entering into oil industry especially, and also put her mark as a leader with her innovation. Wow, Geetaji, that's such an honorable position that you serve with all your grit and all what you have done so far. And I could see there has been so many challenges because of the gender, because of you being the first, and because you also are human. You also have to take care of your needs. That journey will be quite fulfilling now. But when you just started, did you know that you will come this far? What were your thoughts back then?
No, Deepthi, I did not think in that manner that, of course, I wanted to join. See, my dad is a mechanical engineer and he was in the armed forces. So he stressed on education. So he gave education to me and my siblings equally. And
Right.
what he mentioned was that, see, I cannot give you so much of financial support. What I can give you at the max is a good education. And then you have to set yourself in the world. So when I came to Bombay, I came from Calicut in Kerala. So when I
Right.
was about to go for the interview, I asked my dad whether he could come with me because that fear was there. You are
Hmm.
stepping into a big city. So what he
Right.
told me was that your education should take you far because uh, tomorrow when you get transferred, today I will come with you. Tomorrow when you get transferred, are you going to ask me to come along with you? So you should learn how to survive, and
Right.
that is why I have educated you. You must know. So one thing when you told me that even though people are educated, how. So basically, education should serve you well in taking decisions in making you go far. So
Correct.
he did not come with me, and I had to go alone. And I really did not have a place to stay. So that's a big story how I got accommodation in Mumbai. But I had to arrange everything myself. So that's another thing. Education helps you in going through life. So when you ask me, even if when you are educated, what is it that makes you so special? What makes you
Hmm.
so special is you know how to go about.
True, very true. The right pointer that you mentioned, Geeta ji, is that you should know how to use the education that is given to you, right?
Right,
Because
right.
many of us are given the chance to get educated, while the others lack that comfort, or for some, it is still a luxury. But then, when we are educated, instead of going ahead and being guilty about it or complaining about it, one should know to use it for their
Apply
own
it.
benefit,
Apply
right?
it. Yes, yes,
So,
yes,
so
yes.
in that context, I see women are at least after the 1980s, a lot of women started getting educated. There was a lot of awareness done. There was also a lot of emphasis on the government's trying to focus more on making the girl child educated, right? Especially
Yeah.
after the 1980s. So we see a lot of women getting educated, at least the basics. Can we also have to acknowledge how in Tamil Nadu there's 100% literacy rate, right? So people are advanced to have basic education, and then we are also seeing women trying to get educated rather than staying behind the doors. So,
Yes.
in this context, even though women are educated, there's still some level of, you called it ragging in your field, there's some level of putting them down is what I've observed regardless of the sector. You've been in oil industry, but I have been in IT for a decade. So regardless of where you are, I see that happening. And what is it that you think is the reality of this? Because since we have been there, we are in a good position to talk about it and voice it out and try to bring it to people's focus. However, if we can give the right perspective or the reality, people will be in a better position today to take well thought after actions. What is your
Yeah.
take on this, Geetaji?
Yes, Deepthi, that is basically one is our conditioning and also stereotyping. Okay. So
Right.
ladies are stereotyped as people who should be submissive, speak politely, be charming, and things like that. I will tell you, when I joined Bharat Petroleum in a middle management cadre, I was actually in charge of defining the project, designing and specifications, bill of materials, and things like that. Okay.
Right.
And we had a separate execution wing. So when I found that things were not happening properly, because my design was okay and things were not happening, when I told my counterpart in the execution department that you need to take care, I have given specifications, why don't you go as per that? He turned back and told me that you can't talk like this. You are a lady. You should be polite. You should be like, he was telling me that I was not. In fact, I can only tell you that I was a little bit assertive.
Right.
Only that. And then I was told like this. And that put me back. Immediately, I got a feeling, my God, if I talk like this. So we had to pick and choose how we have to speak to people. So that was the first time that I got a big jerk, big backlash. You cannot speak like this. You should be very
Right.
polite, submissive, charming. When you have to get things done and according to certain specification, definitely you may feel a bit odd about, but that is how you are. So that genotyping is there. Ladies mean they should be submissive. You are supposed to be at home, not here asking us to do certain jobs. So that's one of the things. And second thing is the patriarchal society. You expect girls to behave and dress in a different manner. So
Right.
all these things contribute to ladies not able to express, not able to do what they want, and not being so confident that we are expecting them. Because when you are on a job, you
Right.
need to be treated on par with the men. But
Right.
that does not happen. So this is one area that I can think of, that in the engineering line, I'm not very sure about other lines, but I think it may be applicable in other lines also. Suppose you're on the front desk as a receptionist or things like that, that may not be expected, because there they are all, otherwise also expected to be very charming. And but here also in the engineering line also, they expect you to be very, very charming and very polite and very submissive. So maybe we have to learn all that, but I definitely did learn, and I had to really change myself. That's what I want to say. And even for the youngsters joining today, yes, this one lesson that they need to change according to circumstances, but still get your deliverables from the others.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a eye-opening reality because all of us think it's too glam when you're working. Because even for the other women who are not working, they think it is such a glamorous thing to put yourself out there, go out and have your own time. But in fact, what we are doing is we are learning in an environment which has its own challenges, like the women who are working at home. And it's indeed glamorous only when you work thrice as hard as you said already,
Right.
right? So in the face of all this, what we are trying to bring in is more people having confidence to come out, because what we have done up until now is to take care, to be the best caregiver of the family and also have our own identity. And I see that still as a struggle for millions of us women who are thinking we are the roles that we play. And I am working on something which has to do a long term vision in terms of bringing out the identity for women, because for most of us, if we are serving as a homemaker, then we are not the partner, we are not the work that we are doing, but we think we are just being a servant. On the other hand, when we take care of children, we still feel like we are serving the family, but then not getting the respect. Now, why we are, have to be stuck here, what has to be done for people to know what is your true identity is what I actually work on. And this is why I feel it's so much more important for people to understand the reality of women, whether it's a working woman or a woman who is a caregiver to her own family. Geeta ji, it's been a lovely stance of conversation wherein we started with understanding where and how you started working, and then we spoke about education, and now I want to take this conversation to the next level wherein we will talk more about how is it to build harmony between work and personal life for you? Because now, when you're working thrice as hard at work, how was your personal and other areas of life, spiritual and the other areas of your life, were they affected? How did you build a harmony? Is harmony a myth? There are so many questions around this, usually women have. So, I
Yes,
want to hear from you.
Deepthi, I don't know. Sometimes when I speak about this, I get a bit emotional because, when my children were 3 and not even 1, I had to leave them with my parents for about a year. Um, I did not, we were not very well off. And so my husband had to go abroad and I was left with both my kids. And I really couldn't manage, and I had to leave with my parents because my parents couldn't come and stay with me. They were in Kerala, and you remember, yeah, and you may be knowing, it is 1980s, probably when you were born. That time we did not have any conveyance from Mumbai to Calicut other than by train, and it used to take us more than 40 hours to reach because it used to stop at Arkonam, I think, when West Coast Express used to be there.
Hmm.
So being without my children was very, very, very hard for me. And what my boss at that point told me was that you can take leave in between, 1 or 2 days you can manage, and then you can go and meet your children, but don't leave your job because you are extremely good in your deliverables. And
Right.
I heeded to him, and that's how my children were with my parents for 1 year. And that was a very, very terrible period for me because by within 1 month, 1.5 months, I used to feel so unhappy that I used to ask somebody to book a ticket for me to Bangalore or to Mangalore, flight ticket to Bangalore or to Mangalore, and then travel by bus in the night and reach Calicut in the morning, and then spend that Saturday, Sunday, and then again night I used to travel back Monday morning flight to Mumbai. So this way I managed for about a year, but then I couldn't, after that I just brought my children and they were latchkey children. I kept few people. There was no crash at that point in time. And so I had no other way but to manage with some house help who will come, who may not come. But because they were not there and I was so miserable, I started with an evening course because after office you cannot bear the loneliness. So I attended a course and I had to finish that when the children were with me. When they brought them back, I had to write the exams and the maid did not come. So these are all things which has happened. And then I requested my neighbor to look after them for that 1 day when I was writing the exam. So that's why I get so emotional when I speak about all this because things were not at all smooth. And I don't want to think about all that because See, what happens is I want to remain happy and positive. Things are past. So,
Right.
but I had lots of problem in managing because there was no daycare or creche like what you have today. But
Right.
all that has made me so strong and very positive that things will work out over a period of time. And they were latchkey children, both of them. I used to tie the keys of the house and on their bag. They will come back home. Everything used to be kept ready for them on the table. They will have their food and then they'll enjoy, and then they will sleep. And when I come back, I will again send them to play and then finish my cooking. When they come back, I sit with them for their homework and like that, and then have a timetable set where everything would be kept. My children became so independent. I can only tell you that they became so independent and they respected whatever I'm doing. And today, both of them are performing very well. I have brought up both my son and my daughter on a similar platform. Both of them were trained in the same thing because I did not want to treat them differently. I have treated them similar, both my son and my daughter. They have been treated. I can tell you that I treat them both like on the same platform. I did not say that a boy is different or a girl is different, and both of them are engineers and doing very well. They're doing very well, and they have a
Thank
lot
you
of
so
respect for
much,
me. And
Gita for being so authentic. Because I
so,
can imagine very vividly how you might have felt. Being a mother myself, if I have to leave my daughter, it'll pinch me from inside. No matter what I'm pursuing, it'll definitely pinch me. But looking at the fact that what is the kind of space or what is the dose of opportunity it is opening us to, right? I see that you are a very positive person with a very positive outlook. How you might have managed with your kids, two of them, and then battling those emotions of being content with what you're doing at the same time addressing all the additional efforts that are required at work and as a mother, because being a mother itself is a full-time job, and apart from that you had an additional responsibility. This is what I call as building harmony, because over a period of times we evolve to that stage wherein we are able to cater to the needs of our roles and our responsibilities. And I think you have evolved as a beautiful person yourself to have given that opportunity for your children to be independent. Because the more we pamper them, the more we are around them. I'm not saying being around them is not the right thing, but we have made our own choices, and those are not wrong choices,
right,
right?
right.
Anything that keeps us away
Sure.
from our children is not a wrong choice, because that will open room for them also to realize that my mother has her own career and we have been taken care of while she is pursuing her career. And this is such a
Right.
beautiful way of putting it. Thank you for sharing that with us. Padmalaya, Saubana, thank you for that. Geeta ji, in the chat box, there's a lot of love coming our way, and I want to take a minute to acknowledge that, because
Yeah, yeah,
this is
sure,
what
sure, Deepthi. Thank you. Thank you so much.
this is what keeps us going. We come forth and stand strong for all the people who are going through difficult times, wanting to evolve, making sure that they take the right decisions in their life. As coaches, and especially life coaches, we are offering that space for people to open up so that they know what is the work that we are exactly doing. Now I want to move on quickly, Geetaji, to the juicy part, which is wanted to talk about being an author myself. I wanted to talk about the international bestsellers, two of them. Now this is all around productivity. Can you just tell us a little more about it?
Deepthi, to be very frank with you, I don't have so much of flair for writing.
Right.
And yeah, so basically, when I saw an advertisement by our mentor, Mr. Sombatla, on Facebook, and it was COVID, So I thought, let me join. Not COVID. COVID had not started at that point in time.
Right.
I saw this advertisement. I like to learn, so I delve into different technology and I start learning that and doing it. Okay, of course, I was not practicing, but here when he spoke about authoring and self-publishing, I thought, okay, this is one area that I can learn. But once
Right.
I got into it, I didn't know what to write. Because unlike people who write about, if they see some sunrise, they will have so much of information, they will make it like a beautiful picture and they'll write. I did not have that skill because I
Right.
was I was into design specs where you specify what is actually required in less number of words, not making it very. So I was just wondering what to write, and then I had lot of notes because when I started my journey, there was not the internet was not there. So I
Right.
used to collect information from books, from magazines, from papers, and I used to write it down in a notebook, self-help type of. So I had lot of material which I had collected over a period of time, written and kept. Then I thought, why not make it so that people, youngsters who join today, they can take value out of that book. And I put my
Right.
heart and soul into writing those books. And our mentor, he announced something known as publicathon for people to make sure that people write, because see, just by giving a course, people do not do anything. They may go through it, they may not. So he put up a gamification process of publicathon, and unfortunately I became leader of one. And now if you're a leader, you have to walk the talk and you have to really publish.
True.
That is
Very
what
true.
happened in my case, and I put my heart and soul into that book, and I put did lot of research and put my experience of how you can become better in your professional life. And I
Right.
wrote that book and published it, and all 10 of us who were in the group also published it. We motivated each other, we became accountability partners for each other, and we were declared the winners in the first publicathon. And the book is all about, it has different chapters in it, which makes you,
Correct.
setting a goal and motivating oneself, and then having the right attitude, managing your time, being more effective, having commitment to do it. All these things are mentioned in that with examples and with
Right.
tips and tools so that people can move ahead in their life. And most of the, if you see the reviews, I've got very beautiful reviews from people who have read the book. And
Right.
it became an international bestseller, selling at US, UK, Canada, and Australia, where,
Right.
of course, there is something known as, advertising your product. We had to do that, otherwise people will not know about how they are going to know. So we did the advertisement, and I could get a lot of reviews, and even today the book is selling. I'm not doing anything for that, but the books are selling, and I'm getting money into my bank. So it became
Awesome.
international bestseller. And then again, the second time he announced the publicathon, that time I thought, okay, now this is my forte is leadership, where I
Right.
manage lot of teams and I get them to do. If you have seen the BORL project also,
Mhm.
I had planned everything from blueprint to execution, and we could manage it with a small team, young team who were just fresh from college, because I had recruited them from the college, and
Right.
we could manage all that. Now that is possible. If that is possible, I thought I can put the details into the
Right.
book where you can manage teams. And so that
Right.
book, what was written was on team, including leadership and how to become an incredible team, how to attain. So there are a lot of things mentioned about templates and things like that in that book.
Right.
And that also became a bestseller. And of course, I did not have much time to publicize that book, because then I joined this coaching mastery, and I came into this because here my passion is in helping people. All along, I have tried to help people. Even the book is about helping people to become very good in their work, in managing the team. So I thought this is one area where I can join and try to help as many people as possible. And that passion led me to become a coach. And I thought I would go into only success coach, but then so many of you, the coaches, wanted me to help them in their digital area. This was my hobby, I can say. Going venturing into digital area. But if it's a hobby, then why not make it a uh, make help people in that area. So I thought, let me
Correct.
combine both digital and success, and that is how I am a digital success coach. So yes, I'm enjoying this field now. Right now, I am in USA with my children over here. So
Right.
yes, so that's it. I think I have explained to you how I became a digital success coach and the journey and the author journey too.
That was beautiful to know from you, Geeta ji, because oftentimes what happens is when coaches start off, while they are discovering their own journey, they are also worried about few things that they are not so proficient about. So when someone gives that space and offers that kind of a help, it helps them to get to the stage where they are aiming for. So thank you for being that hand-holding help for all of us, and also thank you for being today. It means a lot for me, wherein you have been there throughout your life in this journey of professionally and personally being a strong woman, because that's what I've seen, the traits of you particularly, to be strong no matter what challenge came. You never faltered. You just soaked in, absorbed what came to you, and molded yourself, so to say, to be that container who just grew with the possibilities. Thank you so
Right,
much
right.
for your authentic share and time, Geetaji. It means a lot. Being in a different time zone, you could have simply enjoyed and said, this is my time with my kids, and rather a different time zone. But I deeply respect the fact that you wanted this topic connects with you deeply, and you being here means a lot for me as well. Thank you so much. And for people
Oh,
who are wanting to be digitally successful and want to know more about success, Gita Ramachandran is the right person to reach out to. Her social media handle will be posted along with this recording so that you can go and follow her. She's doing amazing work. Go buy her bestseller about productivity. And it's, I would say, as far as I could connect with her and know more about what she's doing, she does a fabulous job, which is crystal clear, guides you in the right direction, and pushes you forward, because that I feel is the right essence of moving forward in the direction of your goals. Thank you so much for all the compliments and love. Pooja, thank you so much, Pooja. It means a lot for us to come here and share with you what makes you you, and also to understand that you are not your roles that you're playing, but you have your own identity. And if you are in the path of finding your identity and to truly take out that step that will unleash the power inside of you, do get in touch with us, because we are here to handhold you and guide you through in this journey as life coaches. Thank you so much, Geeta ji, and everyone who's attended this session.
Deepthi,
And if
let me thank you. You are such an amazing person. You are empowering people, not only people, you are empowering ladies, you are empowering the coaches also.
thank you.
Hats off to you and kudos to you for, starting this process of engaging other ladies and bringing them on your platform and doing a wonderful job. I want to thank you, and I want to also tell other people, get in touch with Deepthi, who is an empowerment coach, coach for mamas, new mamas also, and a coach for coaches. So all the best to you, Deepthi, and I would like to see you at the top. So all the best, and thank you for inviting me over here.
Thank you so much, Geeta ji. That was so beautiful and nice of you to come forward and mention that. Thank you so much. I resonate with whatever energy and whatever feeling you have. So people who are waiting for the next session, We'll see you again at the same time, Thursday, 5 p.m. And this time, I'll be having another beautiful guest for you so that you can learn so much more and evolve as the strong leader you are. Women by nature are strong and are made to be leaders. So don't try
Right.
to shy away from that and feel as a victim. Thank you so much and connect with you next week.